Dr. Marcus Vail had everything a hospital could want in a physician. Top of his class at Johns Hopkins. Residency offers from 3 of America's top medical programs. Published in prestigious medical journals twice before his 30th birthday. Administrators called him gifted. Colleagues said he was destined for a department chair before 40. He didn't argue, nor make any effort to change their minds. But although Marcus was a bit cocky, he wasn't arrogant in the way people expected. He wasn't cruel. He didn't flaunt. He just knew he was good. Good at listening, good at diagnosing, and good, above all, at fixing people. That's why he went into medicine in the first place. Not for prestige, for healing, for helping. And most of the time, he did. Until he encountered the woman in room 211. The patient arrived late one night, unresponsive. An elderly woman, around 75 years old. No ID, no next of kin. She'd been found unconscious in a park and brought in by ambulance. Initial scans were inconclusive. Labs pointed everywhere and nowhere. One test suggested an autoimmune flare. Another hinted at sepsis. Symptoms shifted daily. Cough, then fever, then cold sweats, then nothing at all. Marcus took the case himself. He threw everything at it. CTs, MRIs, full blood panels, metabolic screens. He tried antivirals, steroids, antibiotics. For 3 days, he barely left the hospital. Residents joked that room 211 had become his second office, but she still would not respond. Marcus doubled down, cross-referenced obscure journals, consulted specialists, slept in the on-call room, dreaming of data. Still, nothing. The woman lay there, silent, as if waiting, as if enduring. On the 4th night, after the last test came back normal, as if to mock the bright young doctor, he sat beside her bed and felt something within crack. Not dramatically, just a small, invisible fracture in the armor of excellence he'd built from way back in his youth. He simply looked at her, not as a puzzle, not as a patient, just as a person. Her face was soft, not fragile, but worn in a way that suggested she'd known both joy and loss. Her eyes, though closed, seemed to carry secrets he had no business trying to uncover. He whispered, almost to himself, "What am I missing?" It wasn't a question for the chart. He stayed there, hours passing in stillness. For the first time in his career, he didn't do. He just was. In that silence, something stirred. Not in the machines, in him. A kind of wondering, a kind of prayer. Not to a god with a name, but to whatever it was in the outer realm that held her breath in its palm. The next morning, she died, peacefully, quietly, her vitals faded like the tide going out. Marcus stood by as the nurse shut off the monitors. He didn't move, didn't speak, he didn't even cry. He just watched, his heart mysteriously cracked open. He felt a tinge of failure, yes, but yet not an ounce of shame, not regret. He had done literally everything in his power to save her, but she hadn't come to be saved. She'd come to show him that saving wasn't his to do. In the days that followed, Marcus changed, subtly but unmistakably. He listened more, interrupted less. When residents looked to him for answers, he offered questions instead. He began to see medicine not just as a science, but as a witness, a kind of reverence, a daily encounter with the mystery of life and the quiet dignity of death. He never solved that quite curious case in room 211. But he carried her chart with him anyway, not for the notes, but for the silence between them,